All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with volume now. Very soon we're gonna be talking about volume, and I just want to give you a heads up. Okay. So um, for volumes of prisms, okay. At first, I need you to realize what a prism is. Okay. So a prism, you know, you could think of a box. I think that would probably be the easiest way to think about it. I'm going to show you here this crayon box that I have. And the reason it's called a rectangular prism is because it has two bases that are exactly the same. And connecting those two bases, you have rectangles. Okay? Any box that you can think of, right? If these were your bases, this one and this one, they're connected by rectangles. Okay? Uh, So in general, that's what a prism is. At the same time, though, and you probably won't be able to see this, but there's things. Oh, you could see it on my camera. This right here, a binder, is a great example of a triangular prism. You still have rectangles, okay? But this time, the bases that are parallel to each other are triangles, okay? So just like there could be a triangular prism, there could be a hexagonal prism, a trapezoidal prism, and so forth. Okay, but for now, I'm going to focus mostly on just rectangular prisms. Okay, to calculate the area, the volume of prisms, rectangular prisms, we're going to be using the formula big B times H, where big B stands for area of the base. Okay, do not confuse it with area of a rectangle, right? Because area of a rectangle is just base times height, but this is area of the base times the height. So here's what you're going to do. What you're going to do as you work with these is you're going to identify your base. So in this case, I went ahead and I already identified my base as these rectangles. Now, obviously, normally they give you some numbers. So let's just go ahead and throw some numbers in there. So let's just say that this was 4, that this was 6, and that this right here was 5. If I wanted to find the volume, first is you identify your base. This is my base, and my base is a rectangle. Right? This is my base. And in my base, the sides are 4 and 6. Because it's a rectangle, area is just base times height. So the area of my base is 6 times 4, which is 24. Okay? So the area of my base is 24, and that is what big B is going to represent. So big B again is the area of your base. Now your height is simply the distance between the two bases, the two parallel sides. Okay? So here the height is just 5. Okay? So your height, we already know it to be 5, and so volume would just be 24 times 5. And 24 times 5 is just 120. So the volume would be 120. Rectangular prisms are actually also super easy because when you guys were, in middle school or maybe even before, you might have remembered that volume was length times width times height. And it's true, it's the same thing here, but just keep in mind that that is only for rectangular prisms or cubes, right? Where length and width, they pretty much represent the area of the base. So 4 times 6 times 5. And again, you get the same thing. So, again, just keep that in mind, guys. Let's go ahead and do one more. So here is my rectangular prism. And when we're working on rectangular prisms, quite frankly, any, I guess, surface could have been your base. I just decided to use these as my bases this time. What I'm going to do on this problem now is, though, I'm going to work in reverse. Okay, I'm going to say, let's suppose that the volume of this figure was 100, I guess, centimeters cubed. All right, now we're going to see these cubes because they're going to be the units. And you knew already that in your base, the length and the width, right? Let's say this was 4 and that this right here was, oops, so right here was 5. And you were being asked to find the height. Find the height. Well, since volume, guys, is equal to big B, which is area of the base, times your height, we just have to substitute. My area is 100. Big B, well, it's a rectangle, guys, so it's just 4 times 5. Big B, I know, is just 4 times 5, which is 20, times my height. So we just have to do a little, calculation here where we end up dividing both sides by 20. So 100 divided by 20 is 5. And so my height is 5. It's that simple. Rectangular prisms, again, are one of the easier shapes. This is how you go ahead and find the volume and how to find the missing side, basically, if you were working backwards.